Welcome, everybody, to For Further Instructions.
Yeah.
I'm Hutch Dano. This is Daniel Curtis Lee.
Turn up.
And we have an amazing guest today,
Oh, yeah.
Danielle Campbell.
Hi.
Who has
Hey.
starred in a number of things that are amazing. I would say CW's The Originals.
Oh,
It's
yeah, that was
fantastic.
huge. The spinoff
Thank
from Vampire,
Vampire Diaries.
That's
right.
Lit.
And then also, you're on The Rookie.
Yeah,
Right now.
it was
Nice.
so much fun.
That is amazing.
Thank you.
So was it how did that, was it just an audition or how did that get started?
Taped audition, booking it was a blast too because you get to shoot in LA, which that's that doesn't happen a lot, especially
Totally.
not anymore.
Because you're blocking off like streets in downtown and stuff, right?
Oh, and we
It's
were all
wild.
up in Griffith Park. We're
Lit.
on. We were shooting on Paramount. Wow, like speeching. Bleh.
Paramount. Paramount. Yes, I love it.
Paramount Studios, which was really cool. Like anytime you get to be on a stage, I think is just a unique experience being here in California.
Yeah.
Los Angeles. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Well, because then you go somewhere else and it's like a warehouse they turned into a set usually.
In the middle of nowhere.
In the middle of
Mhm.
nowhere.
Always.
And they're like, well, for catering, we have these 3 restaurants. And you're like,
Always.
oh, got it. Okay, cool. And then you end up finding one of my favorites was I shot a movie in Colorado,
Okay.
and we went to bumfuck nowhere, meaning
Okay.
like it was
I love
called
that we
Lake
can
City.
swear on here,
Oh,
too.
absolutely.
That's
Oh,
good
yes.
to know.
Please,
Okay.
You're welcome.
absolutely.
Swear
yeah,
away.
yeah. We don't have a the explicit sign under
Oh, yeah,
our
no.
pod, but
It's
Watch
probably.
out.
Yeah,
There you
just
go.
be careful. And it was the population was like 400 people in this whole town.
Oh.
And so there was like 4 restaurants. They didn't have any chains, which at the time I valued chains. I don't value them anymore, but I was like, where's the Subway
Hmm.
to like
Where's
give me
something I
something
know?
familiar?
Jeez.
And that's how they catered was through like one of the 3 restaurants.
Where
Oh,
did you
the
end
3
up?
local restaurants. Dang.
Yeah. And so if you didn't like the menu,
Shit out of luck.
you're shit out of luck. There was just
Dang.
nothing you could do.
Dang.
So
Do you not remember the name of these establishments?
I'm not going
These
to do
fine
that.
establishments?
Why would I do that to them?
Oh, you wouldn't shout them out?
Why would I shout out? So if there's 3 restaurants in a town, why am I going to be like, hey guys, when you go there, fuck
Avoid.
These are
this
the
one.
3 we had.
That's
Oh,
that is the
whack.
meanest thing you could do
I mean,
at
or
this
you could
point.
boost their business. You never know.
by talking shit.
You could just mention them. You could say one of them sucked, but here are the 3 of them.
Here, the,
I doubt you remember them, though. I doubt you remember. You don't remember.
Like restaurant roulette.
yeah.
Right?
You
know?
find
Just
out
pick
which one I was talking about.
yeah, you'll know. You'll know
Just name the
within
city.
2
If
bites.
you name the city, they'll know. What was the city?
It's Lake City, Colorado.
Lake City, Colorado.
Lake City, Colorado.
There's maybe
So,
5 restaurants there.
There's 3, and then they had a grocery store there.
Okay.
And so it was the only grocery store in town, and they had this this kind of like pin board where people could put up their advertisements and if they're selling something. But then right next to it, they had this big sign, and it said, "If you don't like our prices, Pavilions or Ralph's or whatever it was is 200 miles this way,
Dang.
and if you don't like our prices, again, the other grocery store is 140 miles this way."
Okay.
Wow.
And let me tell you, when you walk in there as a bargain hunter like I am, and that's the first thing you see,
Jeez.
you realize you're in danger. Like you need to be really regardless of how much that apple is.
Bro, you better
You
put
gotta
that
be
money
like-
on the
Suck it up.
table.
How much is the
Dang.
apple? $4? That sounds good to me. I like that idea. That sounds good.
Dang.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Exactly.
Cold world.
But yeah, I'm so happy to have you on here. I know for Zeke and Luther, was that one of your first roles? Or was that, I can't remember for sure, but I remember talking with you when we were on set.
So I had been acting since I was about 10.
Yeah.
So I'd done a couple things before, but that was the first and only TV show I did for Disney. So I did Starstruck.
That's right, with Sterling Knight.
Yes.
That's
so that
right.
was a movie that we did, and then I did an episode with you guys.
Wait, so you were doing you did Starstruck before you came on to Okay,
Yes.
now
That's
I remember
amazing.
because it was
That's
a big
amazing.
deal
That was a big-
you were coming on to the show. I recall because the movie
Wow.
was under
It
work.
was.
Yeah.
It was a big, and also Disney Channel original movies back then were they were such a big deal.
I know.
You know, now we have 90,000 different streaming channels. So when someone's like, "Hey, there's a new movie out," and you're like, "On which one?"
That's the first question,
That's
and
the
then
first
it's
question.
like, then it's who's in it. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I've heard of them, or
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, can you also get it on this street? Like the amount of things that I see on multiple platforms now too. I'm kind of like, which one do I already subscribe to? And then trying to figure out which one.
Yeah.
It's
limiting for the palate. You know, it's like this is all I can be interested in because I'm not paying this other $40 over here.
I'll say this.
Is what I like.
I'll say this now. Back in the day, that's fucked up to even have to say that.
Talk to them. Let them know. They need to know.
So when I used to, and I still do to this day, but now we have streaming, but I used to go up to Tahoe with my dad and my stepmom and my sister. And so there was no real cable where we lived. We're in the condo because my stepmom didn't, she just was like, I'm up here 3 weeks out of the year.
Yeah, no TV.
So I'm not going to pay for cable. And I went, that's fine. So we had the little bunny ears to get like 3 channels, or we had a DVD player. And so a Redbox moved into the 7-Eleven down the way.
Oh, yeah. Redbox did it. Changed the game.
Look, there was not that many choices. Even if you look at all the choices of the, you're going to pick 3 or 4 movies and you're going to bring them back with you. And you're not going to go back out because it's snowing and it's cold. So you had 4 movies that you were going to watch because you picked them out.
Right.
Physically. And then you only had those. Whereas with digital, with everything streaming, about 20 minutes through, I can be like,
nah.
You know what? Fuck
Next
this
one,
actor.
Yeah.
You know what? No, absolutely no. We're moving on.
I'm not going to do it.
I'm not doing it. You know what? You're not getting that 4/10 of a cent for this streaming that you're going to get through the new SAG deal.
Yeah.
And so, but I honestly think that when we have so many choices, it kind of messes with our. We have what is the where you're in I should know this word.
The old adage.
I know.
You know that old saying. Fool me once.
Yeah.
See, you can't fool me again.
When you can't make a decision.
Oh, yes. Indecision.
Indecisive.
That's the
indecisive.
saying. Oh, you're looking for the word indecisive.
Yeah, I'm looking
I
for
thought
the
you were
word
looking for like a super cool saying.
No.
That made this huge impact on your life and you've forgotten it.
Why? You know what? Speaking of choices. And not having one.
Yes, choices.
We have a segment on this pod called What the Fiddly Fuck Are We Drinking?
Bang, bang.
Now, I chose this one specifically for you because Melba is better than Lester when it comes to the
there's
fixins.
this other guy, Lester, that makes the
fixins.
stuff. This is wife Melba.
This is Melba.
She makes the sweet
And so
stuff.
she makes the sweet ones.
Wait, so it's a couple who makes these?
Yeah, I mean, they're fake.
They got to be
but it's the company, so there's Lester's Fixins and then there's Melba's Fixins. And then, so Melba's Fixins, we have butterscotch candy today.
All right. Grandmama's butterscotch candy.
We always explain, I guess, that I have to drink the whole thing. Each
this
one
guy.
Of our guests,
he came up with the rules. Let him drink
and
it.
he said,
I like that that's your rule. That's great.
Well,
his rule was that we're going to drink it. My rule was that you have to finish the whole thing.
I have to finish the whole thing. And he doesn't have to finish the whole thing. And then the guest, it's completely optional. So if you want to try it, you can. You don't have. If you end up liking it, feel free to. In solidarity,
this looks likable though. Butterscotch.
I don't think it's gonna be.
Did you like butterscotch coming up as a kid?
No.
No.
But
no.
You know what else is
butterscotch.
weird? I don't like soda.
Oh,
that's
I will
totally.
try this.
Okay.
I'm always down to try something, but yeah, this is gonna be fascinating.
It's definitely. I think you're gonna do. So Ryan Newman came on, who played us in the first season when it was called the Zeke and Luth Pod, but it's not called that anymore. And she was doing ranch dressing soda.
Oh yeah, that was a rough one.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Lester made that.
When I tell you that was a Lester.
That was
soda.
a Lester.
That
one.
Lester.
Mm-mm.
When I tell you that, you really start to, maybe kind of look back at your life and go, what did I do wrong that got me to the ranch dressing soda? What got me here, right? So she took one sip and then went, absolutely not, and she put it down. And then Daniel did the exact same thing, and then they both had to watch me drink it throughout the whole episode.
Oh, see, that sounds enjoyable. That part, watching you drink it.
That's what everyone
great.
says.
I can stomach that.
I'm noticing that seems to be. It's more about, hey, that fucking guy has to drink it. Like that's what ends up being so entertaining.
You see, what's that? There's a game. It's like it's not Would You Rather, but it's Well, it could be. Maybe it is.
Never have.
Or Odds. Odds. That seems like.
Yeah.
Have you played Odds?
I've not
before?
played.
Tell me about it.
What is
I
Odds?
don't know about
this. It's like I'm gonna do a bad job of saying it because I always need someone to re-explain it to me.
Yeah.
But essentially, odds. I give you like a number. What are the odds that you'll drink that entire thing of soda? And then you get give you a range of like 1 to 100. You pick a number, and if I happen to guess the number, you have to chug the whole thing. If not, nothing happens. But people will play that on a night out.
Interesting.
And the amount of times that sometimes it happens. I was at a wedding previously, and that was the last time I watched one of the most cringy ways of asking a man out. That was very funny.
Yeah. Well.
Wow. Okay. It worked though. I mean.
Well, it didn't work out, but
no,
it was really comical for us to witness.
Oh
yeah,
no,
it was very funny.
No, see, that's the nowadays too. There's just
it's tough.
I can tell you the last couple times that I have attempted to just give a compliment, it has not worked out very well. Like I've literally just gone. I just want to tell you that you're really beautiful, and the girl would look at me and go, "Thanks," and I'm like. Well, I guess I'll be heading on off. That old dusty trail is gonna be where I hit right now.
Well, were you wanting a further conversation?
No, that was what messed it up. Was to me, I guess, because I was just like telling it has always helped me. During some of the hardest times in my life when people have said nice things randomly to me.
Yeah,
and they've always just been like God shots, and it's helped me through a time. So to me, I'm like, you know what? If I think someone's beautiful, I'd like to be able to tell them and just say, hey, you know what? But unfortunately. Creepy Tinder guys have fucked it all up. They've ruined it. So now if you say that, the girl immediately does the side eye and goes, what do you want? That's at least what I've gotten at least the last couple times has been. Where I've been like, I just want to say you're really beautiful. And they're like, and?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, I was just going to say, is it like, I guess, would you say now that the only way to ask a girl out would be through then doing it on your phone? No, I think the text messaging asking out is bad. Yeah, I love someone coming up to you. I think it's so much nicer.
Well, and also it takes courage. You gotta go up there, and you have to be willing to lose. That's something most guys I think are not willing to do nowadays is lose.
I mean, but also just if you're gonna be confident, be all the way confident. So go up there, take that quick L. And also, in your case, she said, and then you can give her some and.
Yeah, but that
you could have taken the conversation further.
No, that and kind of meant like, and fuck you. That's kind of
what
that
felt.
It was her tone.
That's not how I took it.
I don't know, man. I feel
that's
like
like
you
eating a spicy food and be like, you took that spicy thing like it was spicy. Yeah, that's what it was.
Spicy.
Yeah, that's what it was. Well, let's open these just
let's pop the top.
Let's
find out what this
sweet.
butterscotch
right.
is hitting like.
Oh, no.
I want to pop
Here you go.
No.
And then I'll, let me open. Yeah, it smells exactly like butterscotch candy, which I really appreciate.
Weird.
Oh,
I'm not going to lie.
I didn't do it.
Part of this looks like, I mean, I'm trying to tell myself it looks like apple juice, but the other part of me just keeps thinking it looks like.
Oh. Yeah, I'm the best at that.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Right,
Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers to life, liberty, and the pursuit of fewer choices.
Oh.
Fuck.
Oh.
It tastes like butterscotch.
Too much butter, not enough scotch.
Well, I can't have scotch.
Oh, so it's perfect for you.
No, it's not. This is a bad move. Melba, why'd you have to do this to me? Why, Melba?
Get it.
What did you think of it?
Well, I've tried it twice just to make sure.
I only do this for this pod. I actually only drink water and black tea and black coffee now. So then when I have to do this, I sacrifice. My day gets all fucked up. I just want to make it clear, like it's like because I do not drink this very.
Do you have
This
a workout
is a
routine after,
sacrifice.
right?
Yeah, the only workout routine I have is going home and just being in the dark. Yeah, eventually. So throughout this, and I didn't realize that it was part of kind of the show until I watched the first season. But the editor keeps cutting to me upset. Like so, like you'll be in a conversation and I'll take a sip and I'll be like, and they'll cut to me doing that, and then they'll cut back to the serious conversation. So it does break it up, nicely, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, I got to play. I think her name's Danny. Not far off from our name.
Danny?
Totally.
I think,
Danielle.
and if I got that wrong,
she was your BMX biker.
It was so much fun. I got to be in the most comfortable outfit all day.
Lit.
And I had a stunt double who did all these really sick tricks, so I looked like a badass. It was fantastic.
Nice.
See?
That's
what I did.
Did you do any actual like biking as a youth?
Going around, I didn't do the tricks, but it was a lot of fun.
Welcome people, because that's what I did.
Okay.
Everyone asked me, they go, "Can you really skate?" And I went, "If you mean by skate, skating on the board, like without it leaving the ground? Yes, I can.
Well, but you guys had so much time. I was there for like a day.
Oh yeah.
I would have expected you guys to do a little bit more. No.
Yeah. Me and Adam, we skated.
Well, okay.
So
not so
we've
much.
told this story,
so
but eventually it became a cross to, like, I didn't have a choice because everyone started giving me shit about it. So I had I was either going to fold.
Oh.
And like be like, okay, guys, you've made fun of me enough. I guess I'll do some tricks. Or be defiant and be like, I'm going to Crafty. Don't mess with me.
Don't bug me.
I'm not, look, this stunt guy knows how to do this better than I ever will. Okay?
So why
and if
practice?
you think that I'm going to try to be better than a stunt man,
you
okay,
are
their integrity he knew how to do skateboarding better than I ever would be able to.
I think the stuntmen and women in our industry don't get the
enough
credit they deserve. They are fantastic.
The Academy's eventually going to add. I think they're going to add a stunt category.
They haven't yet. I think what was the Fall Guy? Didn't they add the category?
They have to have.
Right.
That shocks me that it's not there yet.
It should be.
It should. Yeah.
Especially, I mean, some of those stunt guys are the toughest people. Stunt women, stunt guys. Like they will go down a flight of stairs and then just dust them. They just
and do it again and
they'll
again
do it again.
and again. Yeah, they're unbelievable.
And I'm like, and my skateboard hit me in the shin one time, and I was like, all right, hold on, we need to take 5 here. Hold on, give me 2 seconds here.
5 days, guys. I'll be back next week.
I need to go back to my trailer. Someone get me an ice pack.
Yeah, I need an ice pack, okay? I want one of those really, really cool smoothies the guys make over. Can I have one of those?
I need to rewrite my will.
Now, what would you say out of everything you've done, what would you say is your favorite thing? If you could pick one.
Ooh. So I think usually it's like whatever the most recent thing I did was, because it's something new. I love new, and that's like at the same time whenever I get that question of like, what role do you want to play? I just want to play something different than whatever I last did. I love the research. I love the homework aspect of like what goes into looking at a role in a story.
Sure.
Doing Broadway was one of my favorite things that I never thought I would be able to do, and that was one of the coolest experiences of my life.
That's amazing.
For sure. Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah, that's what did you do on Broadway?
I did a show called Trouble in Mind.
Okay.
It was a beautiful story about a real woman, Alice Childress. She was a Black playwright and actress in the 50s, and she told a story of a Black woman's experience during the 1950s theater scene.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was just so much fun. I had not only a great time, we did it during COVID, which was, you know, ups and downs. The whole cast ended up getting COVID at different times too.
Yeah.
But everyone got to go on and perform, and we got to do our whole run, which was amazing because so many shows were getting shut down. It was like during the second wave, I think, of COVID. You know how it came back.
Sure.
But it was amazing. It was so much fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I can imagine that it's a whole different challenge compared to film and television acting.
Totally. And I think that's another reason I loved it so much.
Sure.
Like I love what we do on film and in TV and the way that we tell story. Like TV is, I've been saying this a lot recently, but like TV, you get to explore characters over a longer period of time and get to explore their story as it's happening. A movie, you know the start to finish of what's happening, and you get to work with a character throughout that chapter of whatever their life is. And then in theater, you're doing the same things over and over again, but you're doing the same scenes that you get to explore new ways of doing.
Yep, new permutations every time.
It's so cool.
I agree.
So it's great. It's like the best acting exercise, I think, is to get to experience all of them or to make the effort to do so. So if you have any actors in your audience, that is a big recommendation for me.
I will say that there's a challenge to doing the same material over and over again, and I think it does take I just think instinctually, and I guess your creative side, you really do have to find ways to make it new and interesting for yourself.
Yeah.
So that it doesn't become like stale. It doesn't feel like you become robotic in the sense that you're like, I've said this line the same way.
Yeah.
Like 9 times. I don't even believe it anymore.
Well, it forces you to listen too, because like you have to really be listening and tuning into whoever you're on that stage with, because otherwise everything's gonna just you're not gonna feel that presence with the audience the way that you would if you were just engaged and locked in on what the scene is.
Sure. Absolutely. That's awesome.
Facts, man. Yeah, the stakes are so much higher. Like I did a lot of like high school like plays more so, you know.
When
so
you
I haven't
don't
done
know
Broadway.
to do any of that yet. But that must have been the best part too. Like I think we like a luxury that the three of us had, which I haven't had many of these conversations, but getting to act as a kid, there's so much freedom. And like I watch kids now on set too. It's like they're not struck by the way of needing to perform. It's so much more intuitive. And I love watching kids act. I think it is like one of the most special things to get to watch.
That's real.
Yeah, especially when they're good.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. We've traveled internationally.
Look, there have been times where because there's so many.
Go be a doctor. You're terrible at this.
That's I didn't say that.
I said
it. So what I will say is when kids are really good, they to me come across the most real out of anybody, even the seasoned older actors. I'm like, no, this kid's got this. I don't know. It's because maybe they're whether they've had a lot of training or maybe if it's just that they're just so instinctual with what they're doing.
Yeah.
This is probably, I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion, but I am Sam with Sean Penn and Dakota Fanning. Dakota Fanning's better than he is in that movie.
Oh,
and I'm not saying that as an attack. Sean Penn is amazing, but Dakota Fanning in that is just the most, it's just such a sincere performance.
It is.
In every way, and you believe every word. You believe every word.
100%.
Yeah.
I think that's something that kids are really good at is when they're good.
Yeah.
I think there's also something that must be about needing to recite dialogue because that I can imagine for some kids doesn't feel natural.
Yeah. Some kids are so bad. That
some adults are too. Though.
Now when kids are bad, that usually when you work with them, they actually they get better.
Yeah.
Usually, when an adult's bad. That means that they've tried to get better for a while.
Oh yeah.
And so if they haven't, I'm not saying that they can't, but it's definitely a bit harder.
It definitely is. That's like anything for us. Learning something at an older age is going to be a little more challenging.
Oh yeah.
Well, because the ego jumps in. Your ego, you don't have much of an ego when you're a kid, but when as you get older, I remember one time, I think it was I can't remember the set I was on, but somebody was getting direction. They were a day player, so they had a few scenes, but they had been working for such a long time that it seems like the director was younger than they were. And so they didn't want to take the direct, like they took it, but like kind of like with an attitude. Yeah. They were like, right, got it. Okay, yeah. He's like, I've been doing this for a long time. It's like, yeah, but he's the director. So I get that you've done it for a long time.
You've been
but
doing
like,
it wrong for a long time.
Well,
there we go.
You should do it right for the first time.
That's right. That's right. So
give me one take where you do it the right way. You can do it wrong the rest
for the rest of them. Jeez.
Look, there have been plenty of times that a director has given me direction. I've been like, that's the worst fucking direction I've ever heard in my whole life. But you're not going to not do it. I remember one time I was directed in a scene and I can't even give the plot because it gives it away to what it was. But I was asked to play very afraid in this scene.
Okay.
And the first time that I did it, I played it real in my mind, the real scared, right? I wanted to be, okay, how would I be in this situation as this character? How afraid would I be? How would I react? And the director comes up to me and he goes, oh, no. I need you to be like really scared, like really, really scared. He does this, right? And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that means. Exactly. Right, I go, right, okay, cool. And I go, all right, I'll jump it up a bit.
Little.
Right, do it, and then he comes back. Now this guy looks like he's like an MTV music director. You know what I mean? He's got the tribal tattoo.
Okay.
Which anyone who has a tribal tattoo, it was a mistake. That's your own fault.
Hey.
Okay, you jumped on that bandwagon.
He said it,
I didn't. And so, but he comes up to me and he's upset, right? Because it's like 2 takes, right? This was like a network show, and he goes, no, I need you to be like really scared, okay? And I'm like, okay, yeah, totally. And as he walks away, then I see the 2 producers talking to him, and I'm like, oh, shit. Okay. All right. I got one more chance. Either I do it exactly how I know he wants it done, which is me looking like a fucking buffoon, or
which he's going to use,
which is what he's going to use, or I can stick to my guns. And I went, you know what? Sticking to your guns is like, I think worked out 1 out of every 40 times for people. I think 1 out of 40. Yes. So I went, so just do it the way he wants. And so I did
Van Gogh painting.
I pretty much went like this. I was like, oh, yeah. Oh, like shook around.
I mean, it sounds like you nailed it.
Oh,
Oscar
he was
winning
so happy.
performance.
He came up to me and goes, "Hutch, that's right. Good. Moving on, everybody."
I mean, the
And he just runs away.
validation must have just been amazing.
Oh,
No,
man.
That's
what the kids are working for, man. Validation.
I went like this. I went, okay.
Bet you watched it back.
Oh, I watched it.
I did. Oh.
And he used that entire take. Like, nothing from my previous takes was used at all. So it just literally has me being like, oh, oh,
do you think it was too much, or do you think it cut together perfectly? I hope that's kept for all of this, by the way. Those reactions are fantastic.
We need that.
It was so bad because you try your best to respect, like, okay, they're the director, so of course they know what they want. Now, whether what they want is right is kind of inconsequential. It doesn't really matter. You have to do it, or you end up looking like either one. Directors only have two ways that they look at if you don't do a scene correctly after they give direction. Either one, you're too fucking stupid to have gotten the direction correctly in their mind, or two, you're being insubordinate. You are rebelling.
You're choosing
to go against what they say. Both of which are horrible for your reputation. They're both terrible. Either one, you look like an idiot, or two, you look like a jerk. You can't win.
Yeah.
So the only thing to do.
But I mean, the third one though is you end up doing something that you feel like is bad for your career. Like if you don't like the look, maybe you should say no.
You're not wrong.
But
the money.
You guys, as actors, it's that kind of like double sword.
Yeah.
Wait, double-edged sword. There we go. It's like our job as actors is to show up on set, and we're creating these characters. And I love when we're able to, like, I think it's harder with TV or network because different directors are coming in, so they are less in tune with the story as what your journey has been.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, too, it's like we're not part of the editing process. We're not part of those other parts unless we have chosen to take one of those roles or are actively pursuing it. So it's like we have to be proud of what we step off set with that day, because your best take still might not be used because it wasn't in the same lens that they want to use.
Sure.
So like that's always the hard part.
The project, the overall project.
Yeah.
Whenever I direct things now, I'm like, I'm sorry, actor, you're the last person I'm listening to. There's so much at play.
The last
here. We got
opinion
budgets,
is the actors,
we got everything. So,
look, I'll tell you that when the budget, if you're on any side in that way, if you're a producer or you are aware of what they're working with, then you almost are willing to kind of go above and beyond, because if someone's like, look, we have one day to shoot this,
right?
So you having a artistic crisis right now on how you need to play this, we don't have the money for that,
dude. We shot a film. I produced. He directed and produced as well, and was acting in it. I was acting in it as well.
Fun.
Called As Certain as Death.
Okay.
I was waiting for my death scene. Yeah, I was waiting for my death scene, but we only have maybe another hour and a half in this house, right? It's a nighttime scene, but we're pushed beyond, like we're way behind.
That sun is coming up soon.
The sun's coming up, and I remember it's time for my scene, and I had just finished it, and I'm like, "Yo, Hutch, I think we need to get another take because my face, I really didn't, and we didn't get the close up." Hutch turned at me, he said, "Like you were so fucking stressed. You just put that ketchup on, you get down there, and you die again, okay?" It's not your shot right now. Like, through his teeth, he was hurting because he's like, we don't have any time.
That's incredible.
Yeah. That is amazing.
And I need to see the movie. I want to see that death scene.
Oh, you gotta watch it.
No, you know what's my favorite part about that is that we had a death scene planned that was really good.
It was going to be epic.
It was going to be really bloody, prosthetics.
Oh, so you guys had to change it on the day?
So we shot an entire film in 5 days.
Yeah. Wow.
Now,
not a short. This is a real
85-minute film.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to tell you right now that was partially a mistake. Right from the beginning, but that's all the money we had. We had enough for 5 days of shooting.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I funded it, Daniel funded it, and then Bree, our producing partner, she funded it with us. And so we had these 5 days, and so it got to the point where we hadn't killed most of the cast, and it's a horror film.
What?
So we have all these death scenes.
We're working on these rewrites and stuff. So I was no way it's gonna happen. Goddamn.
And I literally go, all right, okay.
Did you
Daniel?
have them all line up for their death scene?
Hey, yeah,
like,
one
after the other.
You die. Everybody
You're dead.
dies.
I said, look, We have one change of clothes, which means if you mess up this pair of clothes, we can't do it again.
Oh, no.
Right? So
Oh, no.
once the blood's on it, it's on it, and we don't have time to wash it because the sun is going to come up. And so then it goes from being a dark set to being, it's morning, which doesn't make any sense for a horror movie.
No.
So Daniel was like, well, what do you want to do? And I said, I want you to put ketchup on your hand, go like this, and I want you to just come out of the bush. Like you got killed.
That's what it was. Yeah.
We don't have time for anything else right now.
Man.
I'm sorry. I wish I could help you.
And I was like,
wait, and come out. So you're still alive.
So it's like
then.
I had been so we didn't show my killing.
We hear it's the vault. We do the sounds. Like he got.
Oh my god,
that's right.
Funny.
Like that, yeah.
And when you watch it, I mean this like everyone knows. What's up there? What that should have been because some of the other deaths are brutal.
Yeah, they're brilliant.
Like his is the only one that like doesn't really. He gets killed the least warranted way. Like because he plays a great character in it, and so he deserved a much better death scene. And I went, look,
sun's coming up.
I said, look, pal. I said we have two options here. Either one, your death can be in the morning. She's not going to make any fucking sense at all. Or you can get in that bush with Heinz ketchup and we can do this quickly.
Bruh.
So that's what we ended up doing.
Yeah.
So,
it's still the story. Like, that's where it's like the project sometimes matters more.
Yes, I will. And I think, what would you say? Is there anything you've worked on that was low budget that I guess either one, it was fulfilling, or two, you knew that the lack of money kind of stopped it from being what it could have been?
Well, I have a death story that's pretty funny.
Okay.
So I died like 3 times on the originals. And I've told this story a couple times, but I love it so much because it's one of my favorite things. So we did something that was called the Harvest Girl Ritual, which we were all, there were 4 girls who were essentially getting sacrificed. There was, it was kind of like a culty looking scene that day.
Sure.
And we all had these carvings in our foreheads. And we ended up getting our necks slit. Like it was brutal. It was really dark and creepy. And we were shooting it at night. I had a flight. I had like a flight first thing in the morning. And so we shot all night long. Obviously, you guys know from your experience with that film that it's a long freaking night to do night shoots. Yeah. But
it's brutal.
I went to the airport with my carving in my forehead because we were all so used to it by the end of the night. And I got out of the car, went through security, all of it with this. They had taken off my neck, but we'd all been used to it. And I'm obviously not looking at my forehead. Everyone's looking at me. I'm just like thinking, I'm like, Jesus, does everyone know the originals? Like I got in my head thinking like, wow, really it's about famous.
Me. Right, you're totally.
And I give my ID to security and he's just staring at me and I'm just like, I'm about to like freak out. Like, what is it? What?
Totally.
And he literally just taps his forehead. And so I tap my forehead. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I feel the carving. I'm like, oh my God. I start trying to peel it off. I'm like, this is a prosthetic. Is this not real? And that's how I boarded my flight at like 6 in the morning.
Man,
so
we're going to have to take it in the back for questioning. Jesus.
Look, I have to say, you know what?
That's wild.
That's funny. That's amazing.
I would pay to see that. Yeah.
It's always cool. Like, what was it? There was some story. I can't remember the actor, but they went to like have dinner after they had a death scene. They just kept their stuff on because they had to come back after dinner.
Yep.
So they just went to the restaurant like bloodied up, and they're just like, "Can I get a steak sandwich with fries?" And like,
a doctor, sir.
It's like, sir, you can't be
Do
here right now.
You need a hospital?
He's like, oh no, this. Don't even worry about it. Like I think
it was a rough night at work. It's all good.
Exactly. Well, look, I know for a fact when it comes to being recognized, which is something that I'm sure happens a lot for you based off of the work that you've done. What would you say? Have you ever had an experience that wasn't great as far as being?
I can't say I have. I've been lucky to have. I think it's such a compliment when people come up to say that they saw something that you were in and they loved it. Mm-hmm. You know, I think it would be awkward if they said like, I saw this thing you were in that was terrible. That would would be unfortunate.
Well, I got one for you.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, I got one because
because
that's why I asked, because I was like, I have to know if I'm alone in this. But during I would say from well, actually, no, I don't even know the years, but I was a raging alcoholic, and I just like drank away all my money, and I was very to the point where I was like really not. I didn't look good at all, and there was nothing about me that looked healthy. And I had this long beard. I literally looked like any of those movies where someone like gets found. You know what I mean? Like, and they're like, they've been in the wilderness this long, like you know. That's how bad I looked, and I had a kid. Like, I think he was like 14 or 15, but he'd watch Zeke and Luther.
The age to be really honest, though.
Oh, man. And when I tell you, he says...
I don't know. The look says more than
I think so.
Well, and I went, oh shit. I'm like detoxing. I've like had all I've been doing is drinking. I'm like barely like hanging on. I'm at like Rite Aid for like some candy or something. And I go, he goes, Are you from Zeke and Luther? And I go, yeah, man, I am. He goes, nah. And I went, yeah, no, it's me. He goes, oh, okay, it is you. I see, but like, it was the most.
Oh, okay.
And he goes,
my God.
And he goes, nah. No, I
don't believe it.
He goes, I don't believe it.
Couldn't be. Damn.
Oh, yeah.
Then you have to scan, and I see a little bit of you somewhere.
I see the 10% of you that you have not hurt.
Dang.
Left, right? And I'm like, but what I asked that because it is, I think, always cool because we forget at times what we've done, and the most recent one I had was at a movie theater, and I was getting like popcorn, soda, or something, and the guy had already checked me out before like a couple times, and he goes, Zeke and Luther, right? And I go, yeah. He goes, I knew it, but I didn't want to say anything, but like you come in here a lot. I'm like, because I love going to the movies.
Yeah.
And so that was really nice. So like you end up realizing that what we've done, no matter how many years ago, or if it's something maybe that's in the past or something that we're doing right now, it's always cool just to know that like, it's affected somebody in a way, positively a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's something that's useful to remember for sure.
Yeah, I will say, I would say overall, right? The only thing that was a little bit weird about being recognized at times is if you were not in a good mood. Now I know that sounds weird, but you know what I mean. Like if you just weren't, you're just not in the place. But then of course you're also going, I can't, you don't want to be.
Yeah, no,
so
you
end up having to like.
I never turn down the fan unless I'm like if I'm pissing at a stall or something. I'm like, hey,
well that's
brother, chill.
Oh, that's a story in
outside,
itself for sure.
When did that happen?
Oh, it's random.
Are you telling me some guy just comes up to you
usually
when you're at the urinal and it's like,
spectrum slightly,
hey,
though, and then it's like, oh, I kind of understand, big dog, but no, man, look over there, brother.
Well, Kevin Hart has one where he was in the actual stall and someone like peeked over.
Oh, no.
And was like, can I get a picture real quick? And Kevin Hart's like, if you don't
get out of my face,
fuck up right now, we're gonna have a problem. Yeah. That's awesome. So with the Rookie, is that still going on, or was that a?
I finished my arc.
Your arc, okay.
You did
I was
say
supposed to die.
Okay.
Well, they finished the season. I think they've just started season 7, but I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
But I had so much fun with it, so I'd go back. It was so much fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was supposed to die, but then the ending changed, so we love that.
That's good.
You got options. You can come back.
That's what you want. That's if they do that, then you know for a fact then that you've done something right because they're like, let's just we might want to bring her. Who knows?
They love a moment to kill a character.
They
so
love
if they didn't, then
characters.
they're like, no, we need her.
They love being like that actor's never working on this fucking thing again. Let me make that clear. That's Game of Thrones for you in pretty much every way.
Well, but with a lot of fantasy things, like I said, you can come back in a lot of things. Like I died 3 times on the same show.
Wow,
it's amazing though. I love that.
It can happen.
That's awesome. Well, oh God, hold on.
Yep, finish it. You got work to do.
Bottoms up.
I know.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's finished the butterscotch.
Thanks, Melba.
Rate it 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good idea. Good
3 out of 10.
You give it a 3 out of 10?
3 out of 10.
Dang.
Because I like butterscotch. So even though it's in liquid carbonated form, I still kind of like the flavor, but I hate that soda.
Bro.
Fair enough.
So,
oh yeah, what soda do you like?
Oh man. Oh, I'm a big fan of just Mexican Coke. Like anything. Yeah.
It's called Mexican Coke. That could easily be mistaken for something completely different. Mexican Coke?
But anyway, no, my favorite soda would probably be the cane sugar Coca-Cola. That's definitely my favorite. By far. By far. This is not my favorite, but I want to just say thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, thanks for having me.
It's just been amazing catching up with you, and you've done so much cool shit. So,
Wait, did you guys ever end up dating at the end of that episode? Because I was matchmaking you guys, right?
Yeah, but then Zeke always loved skateboarding more. And then I think your character was also big into BMXing. Like we were both on our paths.
Very driven
for sports and being driven with our passions. So no romance.
So you blew it again, just like with Debbie Ryan. It's been fun, ladies and gentlemen. We will see you next time on For Further Instructions.
See you later. Thanks, Danielle.